Welcome to the NBA's greatest games. Today, we'll take you back into NBA history and relive one of the great matchups as it happened.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. I can't think of anyone better qualified to talk about an NBA All-Star game than the Big O, Oscar Robertson. 12 times he played in this game, 4 times the most valuable player. But, Oscar, do all the players put out for this game, or do they just go through the motions?
Brent, I think about 80% of the guys really put out for a game like this. Now, you may find a couple isolated incidents where guys don't always put out. But it's a game of pride, and competition is the thing that really makes you go in a game like this.
What about the rewards? What do the winning and the losing players get?
Winning team gets $500. The losing team gets $300.
Well, Oscar, as you know, there was a change this year in the voting for the All-Star team. The fans selected this year's squad. I think they did an excellent job. We'd like you to meet the All-Stars, starting with the East and their coach, K.C. Jones of the Washington Bullets. And forward for K.C., a 10-time NBA All-Star, a starter 7 years in a row, John Havlicek of Boston. With Havlicek, a 7-time NBA All-Star, the Big E, Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets. At center for the East, Big Bob McAdoo of the Buffalo Braves. Bob was the leading vote getter among all the fans in the country who voted for the players on this squad. At guards for the East, Walt Frazier of the New York Knicks. He has been on this All-Star team 6 times. And alongside him, a teammate, Earl Monroe. All right, Pearl, give us a little number here coming to the hoop. Had a way to go. Earl has been on this All-Star team 3 times, but this is the first time since '71. Now let's switch over and take a look at the Western Conference All-Stars. The leading scorer in the league, Rick Barry of the Golden State Warriors. Alongside Rick, Spencer Haywood of Seattle. Spencer was under the weather last night with a flu, but he sweated it out at practice. He feels fine. He'll be there. At center, who else? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of Milwaukee, who has been an All-Star since he broke into the league 6 years ago. Starting at guards for the West, Tiny Nate Archibald of Kansas City, Omaha, a 2-time star. With Tiny, Gail Goodrich of the Los Angeles Lakers. Gail has been on this team 5 years. Coaching the Western Conference, Al Attles of the Golden State Warriors. Al in the West will try to be making it 4 of 5. Oscar, I mentioned that the Western Conference All-Stars had won 3 of the last 4 games contested. The East, though, overall leads that series 15 games to 9. And we have had some wild shootouts in this competition. As you see the backs of the Eastern Conference All-Stars, you'll notice that familiar colored green there on the left-hand side. 4 members of the world champion Boston Celtics on the East. Oh, does that give them a big edge?
I think so. He's thinking about putting these guys in the game at the same time. I think it's a big plus for them. It has to give them a slight edge in this game tonight.
Now, the Western Conference, of course, has 2 of the greatest centers who have ever played the game, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bob Lanier. Add Sam Lacey's name to that, and that is a trio of pivot men. What a showdown we should see right off the top with McAdoo working against Abdul-Jabbar. I hope that many of our fans were watching on Sunday when we brought that game between Buffalo and Boston. It was a classic, and now we see the color guard coming onto the court here at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix. This is the 1st Artillery Color Guard from Fort Bliss, Texas. They're carrying the United States Army flag with 178 battle streamers.
With accompaniment by Mr. Ken.
Now I see that Andy Williams is moving to center court. He will be singing our national anthem. Let's go to Andy now.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
And we are set to go to work here in Phoenix. Our referees tonight, Mindy Rudolph and Jerry Loper. I wonder how many of these 25 All-Star games that Mindy Rudolph has worked, Oscar.
Probably 25.
He's a familiar fixture, isn't he? There's Mindy peeling off his jacket, number 5. Jerry Loper holding on to the basketball. He'll bring it out to center court. Andy Williams, of course, is one of the owners of the Phoenix Suns. He entertained last night at the NBA banquet. That had to be one of the finest All-Star banquets that they've ever staged.
I think it was, Brett, and it showed just what work really goes into something like this. The players were introduced very colorfully, which is something I really liked and enjoyed. Because since from my first day that I made the All-Star team, the first year in 1960, it was nothing like it was last night at all.
You had some fantastic All-Star games. I caught your act 28 points in one of those games. Bob Pettit outscored you that night. He had 29.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think I've timed with Bob Pettit now for the most MVPs in those games.
Abdul-Jabbar with his goggles, jumping off against Bob McAdoo. Let's consider the value of those 10 basketball players on the court right now. Millions of dollars worth of talent out there.
And they're playing for $500.
Harry of the West gives off to Tiny Archibald that brings it into the key, goes off to the other side. Goodrich is out here. Frazier will take care. Over to Archibald with the first shot at the iron. West goes ahead.
Yeah, Tiny's getting on. You know, these little guards, he and Gail Goodrich are some guys who can really put it up on the backboard. So it should be interesting to see what happens in this game.
Archibald has Monroe. Goodrich is guarding Frazier. Frazier goes baseline with Gale. We're tied. All-Star shooting off the top, 2 and 2. Goodrich brings it up for the West.
You know, it looks like that take the little guards inside and see if they can post it down low.
They have Elvin Hayes over here working on Abdul-Jabbar off the top. Perry pulls down the rebound after the missed shot. Steal by Walt Frazier, one of his specialties. Perry's with him. And Rick Perry draws the first foul of the game. And that was a fine move by Frazier as we see him going in.
It's a great move from an experienced basketball player. He saw that Rick was on him, so he moved his body right into him to try to get the foul, and he did. Great move by him. He does that all the time for the Knicks.
Out the lane, Mindy.
East up by 2. Somebody reminding Mindy Rudolph not to let those players into that lane before the ball gets out of the shooter's hand. Goodrich comes down. Frazier is there. Let's watch the matchup. It is Elvin Hayes on Abdul-Jabbar. So McAdoo is off on Haywood on the corner. And Elvin takes it away from Lee. Back to McAdoo outside.
And he hasn't stopped hitting yet from last Sunday. Can he really shoot the ball? I'm telling you, a guy that big can really get it up in the air.
And again, Elvin Hayes is out. Abdul with the hook. Won't go. His own rebound. Drives in. Monroe. Hayes open.
You know, K.C. Jones was saying that he has to get his players down on the floor because he is outmatched underneath height-wise, and he's got to get him down and get those easy baskets.
Give it going. Goodrich had one that time. Make it 8-4. The East leading the West. We're just underway in the 25th annual NBA All-Star Game.
Play like that is very simple, and these are the things we have to work on in games like this because the players are all from different teams. They don't know each other's patterns. They got to do the simple things to get them to work for them.
Frazier goes down underneath. Ball taken away by McAdoo. Here comes Archibald. That was Haywood on the rebound. Archibald on the drive. Won't fall. Out of bounds to the West pass, it says Jerry Lober.
You know, they talked a lot about pride and not being able to, guys not wanting to play in games like this, but this is not true so far.
They worked on this inbounds pass. Ball comes out to Haywood. McAdoo on him. Monroe is guarding Archibald. Barry comes around. Havlicek with a hand right there. Ball won't go. Abdul-Jabbar with an offensive board and a hook. Sky hook. 8-6. The East leading. 9:42 to go in the first quarter. Outside. Abdul-Jabbar with a gimme rebound. Archibald down the middle. Tiny drive. Passes to Spencer Haywood in the corner. Ball is loose. Taken away and controlled by Hondo Havlicek. He scored 140 All-Star points. He's the leader right now among active players. Frazier goes up. He's got it.
Here again, there's that Frazier, the smart player that he is. He takes advantage of Goodrich's height. He gets down low, and Goodrich can't get up in there with him, so he hits a jump shot. I think Casey's going to have to make some changes after a while, but, they have to let these guys start because they were picked by the fans to start in this contest.
Okay. Goodrich had a shot, elected not to take it. Archibald goes in, won't fall. Hondo over here with the rebound. McAdoo. Ball's coming right to Abdul-Jabbar. Berry was open, bad pass. Haywood takes the deflection off McAdoo, goes inside. Berry tips it in to get it in.
Rick Barry.
Elvin Hayes. Haywood guarding him in that corner. Hondo Havlicek, perpetual motion. He hasn't stopped yet.
And Rick can't stop him on that shot.
Goodrich inbounds to Archibald. Monroe waits him across the timeline. Frazier will pick up Goodrich. Abdul-Jabbar comes out high. Elvin Hayes is guarding him. McAdoo is off in the corner. He's on Haywood. That's the matchup. Archibald on the drive. Pass off to Haywood. Hayes, one of the great rebounders in the NBA. Passing off. Havlicek again with a shot. It's a blue.
And a shot. 25. Jumps in and he goes.
Two shots coming up. Foul is on Goodrich and Havlicek moves to the line.
Other than Wes Unseld, Brent, I think that Elvin Hayes has one of the quickest releases on this pitch out in the league. You notice that time when he got the ball, he didn't hesitate. He looked up the court, he got Havlicek on the side, right out to him. And these are things which really makes a fast break successful for you.
What happens when Washington matches up with Boston and you get Cowan for the outlet pass and Unseld and Hayes?
It makes for a tremendous basketball game and a very successful basketball game for the team that makes the fewest mistakes.
14-8 now. East leading the West. Neither coach looking down to a substitute. Jabbar. Elvin is with him. Maneuver. Mendy blew the whistle.
I think it was on Elvin Hayes pushing.
Push home.
Yes, it was. Here, Elvin Hayes, he's caught down. Kareem has the ball with his dribble. He doesn't know whether Kareem's going to go in the middle for his hook or not. So he pushes him.
Barry. His first field goal. Cuts the East lead to 4 points. 7:39 to go in the first quarter at Phoenix. The NBA All-Star game. Monroe against Archibald, and Jerry Lobo said he was on him.
On the jump. One. He's got him.
Said he got him on the jump, so it'll be one shot.
That was a typical Monroe move. He's been doing it ever since he's been in the league. I know when I first came in the league. In a move like this, Tiny Archibald can't block his shot, obviously. He's got to keep his feet on the floor and play good position basketball in that situation.
Well, it was a two-shot foul.
Yes, it was.
Said one got him on the jump, but no. Got him when he was shooting. That was wrong. Monroe makes the second one. Now it is 15-10, 5-point lead for the East. They broke on top early. Pretty much have been in control offensively. We're down to 7:29 to go in the first quarter. Havlicek is guarding Barry. Sidney Wicks off the West bench. He'll check in. Sky. Go, battle for the loose ball. Elvin with another rebound, but it's over Havlicek's head. Led him too much.
Yes, he did. Quite. I thought what he should have done in that situation was taking a couple of dribbles to get his composure. And then he could have made a little better pass. In this case like that, big guys often like to dribble. At that time, they did the right thing, but he threw the ball away.
Sidney checks in, and Spencer Haywood does take a rest. He was ill with the flu last night. Archibald with the penetration. Pass taken away by the East. Monroe's got the loose ball. It's inside, bad pass. Rick Barry has it.
Yeah, he got a little too fancy that time. He should have just held the ball up, waited for the trailer to come down.
Kareem joins the offense. Archibald rolls around him to the right. Again penetrating. Trying to pass off. Abdul-Jabbar cannot take that pass in tight quarters, and it is Monroe at the other end. Go, but McAdoo is there with the rebound. Back! 23 years old. He's the youngest All-Star on the floor in this game.
I can change the arch on this shot. Situation. He went up, so the big guy there shoots it straight up into there, and it goes right in. Sometimes with a smaller man is on him, he doesn't shoot as high, but he still gets it in.
All right, Oscar, we've got our first timeout here as we watch Archibald on the drive. 6:29 to play in the first quarter, the East leading.
Program for this 20.
At the line is Tiny Archibald. On that tip in, they gave the basket to Rick Berry a few minutes ago. If you were scoring, it was not Spencer Haywood who got credit for that. Tiny makes the free throw. Make it 17-11. So we have all of the starters have scored except Haywood, who's gone to the bench, and Rudy Tomjanovich and Wes Unseld have checked into the lineup for the East All-Stars. Unseld inbounds, and here comes Walt Frazier.
And I noticed that Elvin Hayes seems to be going to the locker room, Brent. I wonder what's wrong with it.
We're going to check on that. Shot no good by Frazier. Goodrich. Lead pass to Archibald. Pass to Sidney Wicks. Holding foul called by
Number 12.
McAdoo. And that's his first foul. 3 fouls against both teams with 6:13 to go in the first quarter, and the East leading by 5.
You notice that although Archibald is penetrating, which is what a guard should really do, but they aren't getting that much out of it because they haven't played that well together. So they're going to try to have to do some more simple things out on the court instead of being that fancy with it.
Ball went out of bounds after the Goodrich shot. East handled it last. Here comes the East now. I should say the West touched it last, going out of bounds. Monroe brings it up. Archibald and him. Monroe puts him inside all the way. Tomjanovich battling for the rebound. Unseld is there. Unseld again.
You know, for a guy that's 6'7", playing in the middle, he does a tremendous job.
Rick Berry. 19-14. 5:38 to go in the first. Rich guarding Frazier. Monroe, Abdul-Jabbar, there was a mismatch underneath. They didn't pick the center up, and Archibald has the rebound. Lead pass to Sidney Wicks. He's been breaking away. McAdoo came down.
I think he called goaltending on McAdoo that time.
We can watch it again in slow motion.
Great pass.
Call.
And a field goal.
And here it is right there. Yes, he did. He knocked it against the backboard in that situation, which is goaltending.
3-point lead for the East. It's 19-16. We've got 5:11 to go in the first quarter of Phoenix. Unseld sets the pick high, but Tomjanovich of Houston rolls the other way. Under heavy pressure that time. Double team. Berry comes free for the West. Back to Archibald, who almost didn't pick it up, but did in time. It's got it. Tiny Archibald with 6 points. Monroe was all alone, but Jerry Lober blew the whistle.
45.
Charlie Scott of Phoenix has checked into the game. Foul was called against Tomjanovich.
You know, noting Unseld, I think his first year into the league, he was both MVP of the league, and also he was Rookie of the Year that year. Which is, I think he's only one of the few players who was noted for 2 spots like that, I think.
The player who may someday be compared to Oscar Robertson, Phil Chenier, is in there at guard, too. For the Washington Bullets, what a player he's become. Scott. Tomjanovich with the rebound. McAdoo, Sidney Wicks guarding him. Big match. Yes, he got it.
22.
Wicks. Is something we saw McAdoo do all Sunday afternoon.
Yes, he does. And when he goes up in this situation, although the pressure's there from the hand, his arm goes back and he flips it with his wrist, and he's deadly with that jump shot.
Chenier is wearing 46. McAdoo is at the line. It's 21-18. McAdoo has scored 6. Frazier has scored 6. Havlicek has 4. Give McAdoo 7, make it 22-18. We're down to 4:15 in the first quarter at Phoenix. At least 13,000 on hand. It's going to be very near capacity. Still coming in. Wicks with a turnaround. nothing but East jerseys on a rebound. Unseld to Tomjanovich. McAdoo is open. Won't go. Rebound Lanier, who's in now. Archibald off to Big Bob Lanier, over to Rick Barry.
That was very good movement that time by the West squad, but it was all made possible because Nate Archibald penetrated to the basket. He created a situation. He picked up Barry in the corner.
And that's 8 points for Barry. Frazier on the drive. Trying to pass off. Deflected. Barry. Archibald's open. Nobody will get him. We are tied in Phoenix.
Yes, we are. This should be a good game. You know, they have some great basketball players on both sides. A lot of ball players, 24. It should be a good game.
Unseld out high. Wicks has started in. Ball taken away by Rick Barry, but Frazier gets it right back. Over the top, whistle didn't blow. Lanier comes down with the rebound. Here's Barry on the wing. Back to Archibald. It's 4 on 2.
You know, that time he had a forward on the wing go to the right. He should have held the ball up just momentarily and got it over to him. Who was Sidney with a basket, I believe.
Barry, rough pass. Man was thinking Rick was going to shoot it. He tried to position for a rebound. Instead, it was a pass. Chenier takes Scott down to the baseline. He's maneuvered. And he says, hold on.
34.
Charlie Scott.
Hits, pushes, and 1-1 down.
Number 34, Charlie Scott is first. Penalty situation. Bill Chenier will go to the
Take a
line.
look at that one in slow motion.
Right?
Here's Chenier just goes on a pivot from Charlie Scott. When he fakes a little bit, nothing going on. He just gets a hand in the back from Charlie Scott, and the referee's caught it.
All right, we've got another timeout here in Phoenix. 2:51 to go in the first. K.C. Jones will talk to these. We've got a tie.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Oscar, when we were talking to K.C. Jones at practice, he said that he received a saddle from the Cincinnati fans when he retired. Why was that?
Well, I guess they gave him the saddle because they said that he rode me for so many years, so it was appropriate that they gave him a saddle for his retirement there at Cincinnati.
What was it Al Adams said to him? He's got my skin all over his fingernails.
He was noted for a slasher in his days.
Bill Chenier. It's the first free throw. That puts the East ahead by a point. Lanier with the rebound. Archibald will bring it up. Let's set some of the matchups again for you here. Chenier guarding Archibald. Inside, Unseld is watching Lanier. Back outside to Wicks. McAdoo has him. Unseld. Ball batted away, comes up to Chenier. McAdoo. Rick Barry with the rebound for the West, bringing it up. Boy, Wicks is getting free on that wing. They're going to have to watch him. Scott.
Yeah, this is true. That would often happen in an all-star game like this, Ben, because the players aren't accustomed to playing with each other, and sometimes they miss plays.
Interesting statistic about Charlie Scott. He was 0 for 9 in all-star competition. That's the first field goal he has hit in 3 games. Tomjanovich with the basketball. Pass it off to Chenier underneath. Last 2 minutes of the first quarter. No foul. Up it comes to Archibald. Frazier guarding him. Tiny dealing to Lanier.
Yes, tremendous pass that time. Very good pass by Archibald then.
I think that was good coaching by Adams.
Great coaching by Adams.
All right, Chenier. Archibald's got him. Again, they want to take Tiny down to that baseline. Chenier rotates the other way. Ball pass. Tomjanovich broke down. Barry on the drive. It's 28-23. The West has opened up its largest lead. 5 points. Minute 27 to go in the first.
Although Frazier's very adept at stealing bad balls in a situation like that, Rick Barry did a good job keeping the ball away from him in that situation.
Frazier with the turnaround won't go. McAdoo with the offensive board. Wicks has him. Pass over here to Tomjanovich. Andy Rudolph saw something.
Foul number 24, Rick
Picked up
Barry.
His second foul in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think they're overpassing just a little bit now in situations like this. He should have gone and taken the shot then. He had a small guard on him. I think he could have gotten the shot away. That was Rudy Tomjanovich.
Here we are in the first quarter, and I haven't heard Heinsohn yell at Kuzi.
Penalty shot.
Got some of the greatest shooters in the world out here in the court.
That's an old Globetrotter move right there.
That's as second time he's been yelling about it, and this time he held on to the basketball and threw it right into the lane.
All he gets is just another shot.
Robin.
1:09 in the first quarter. It's 28-25. The West is leading the East. Ball gets away from Archibald. Out of bounds, and the East will take over.
I think they're going to come down and run a simple split situation play in this case.
Chenier takes it back from Unseld.
He's tough.
He's a fine player. I think he may be one of the most underrated all-stars in the country right now. Wicks takes it down a baseline, and Lover blew the whistle.
The 12. Got a holdout.
You know, Oscar, it's impossible to satisfy everyone when you pick an all-star game, but there are 3 players I would like to point out who are not here who I think deserved it. Randy Smith of Buffalo, Chet Walker of Chicago, and Fred Brown of Seattle. But please don't ask me which 3 would I take away to put them on, because I don't know.
Well, that's true. Any situation like this where you pick all-stars, someone is going to be left out. But you have some great athletes here in this game tonight. Whoop.
Chet. You know, Chet Walker is second to John Havlicek, the scoring of the league. He's having a tremendous season. It's so surprising no one on the Chicago Bulls represented here. Dick Motta will probably use that in the second half to keep that team of his inspired.
I'm sure he will, but in a situation like that, I think it's just a matter of publicity from a certain section of the country. Some players get it and some don't.
That was the 3rd foul on McAdoo.
Penalty shot.
Wicks is at the line. We're in a penalty situation on both sides. It's 28-27, the West leading. Here comes Phil Chenier, formerly of the University of California, guarded by Tiny Archibald. University of Texas at El Paso. You wonder which college has the most representatives here? UCLA. 3 on these 2 all-star teams. McAdoo loses the dribble, passes off to Frazier. Scott has him. Walt with a fine move, gets a shot.
Yes, great shot.
Tied, and that's it.
Hey, that's a great quarter of basketball, Brent.
The first quarter here in Phoenix, tied at 29. Walt Frazier with 10 and Rick Barry with 10. They were the 2 high scorers for the East and the West.
Don't forget the Phoenix Suns Super Bowl.
They have changed the lineups for the East and the West. You see Dave Cowens getting ready to jump it off against Bob Lanier. Steve Mix of the Philadelphia 76ers and Wes Unseld also are in there, along with Phil Chenier and JoJo White. That's the East. The West, Dave Bing has the basketball. Charlie Scott, Sidney Wicks, Bob Lanier, and Bobby Dandridge of Milwaukee. Wicks takes pulls up. Jumper won't go. Wicks has got it right back. Second one won't go. Sidney's got a 3rd chance. 0 for 3. Cowens with a rebound. Well, 29 after 1 quarter.
He's not bashful.
Unseld. Wicks is guarding him. Picked off by Bobby Dandridge of Milwaukee. Scott's on his right. Dandridge goes past him.
Oh, he lost
loses
it.
control.
He made a good move that time to get by Charlie Scott, but he lost control of the ball, and that's a turnover, and the East gets it.
Meet Steve Mix. Rebound by Lanier. Off to Dave Bing of the Detroit Pistons. Bad pass. Cowan back to Unseld. Up to JoJo. Lanier with the interception. Dave Bing. Takes away by Mix.
And it's stolen again.
Mendy blew the whistle.
Then we have a game of turnovers right here, it looks like.
Steve Mix, number 50 of the East All-Stars. What a story he is. A 5th-round draft choice of Detroit, cut loose by Detroit, could not make 2 teams in the ABA, failed his first trial in Philadelphia, came back, and hustled his way onto this All-Star team.
And, you know, he gives a lot of that credit for his playing in the game, this game, and his playing with the Philadelphia team. He's Coach Gene Shue.
We can watch him, 50, pick up his first foul, working against Sidney Wicks. Billy Cunningham, a long-time All-Star, plays alongside Steve Mix on that Philadelphia team. This goes to show you, Oscar, you don't have to have all of that natural talent to make this. Charlie Scott with a miss. Dandridge goes up, won't fall. Unseld with a rebound. Pass out of bounds, and it's sloppy right now as we start the second quarter.
There's been a lot of talk in the past few days about guys not putting out in games like this. But, hey, these guys are really doing the job tonight so far.
Take a look at Al Attles, the coach of the West, the Golden State Warriors, leading the Pacific Division. His leading scorer, Rick Barry, was on his left inside to Bob Lanier. Scott to Sidney Wicks off his foot. Cowens has it. Phil Chenier.
Now that's what a big man should do when he gets the ball. If he's unsure of himself dribbling down the court, he should hold it up and wait for the guards.
Cowens has it back. Lanier is guarding him. Wicks is on Unseld with a shot.
Big West. I didn't know he could shoot that far out. I don't think Wicks did either.
Here to Wicks. Unseld guarding him at this end. Dave Beck. Turnaround by Dandridge. Lanier has an easy one. Won't fall. And Wolver says loose ball foul. Hold on.
What do you want? When a loose ball foul hits the air, throw it.
Foul is on Unseld. Loose ball. Out of the penalty situation, of course, so they'll take it out when we come back. Right now, we got a timeout. The East squad, led by Dave Cowens, will go over to talk to K.C. Jones. 31-29, the East with a lead. 9:57 to go in the first half.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Just had a report from the locker room. Elvin Hayes will not play anymore tonight, and I want to remind everyone that on next Sunday we'll be back in Oscar Robertson's hometown in Milwaukee for that game between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Milwaukee Bucks. Shortly before tip-off here in Phoenix, we were told that Bill Walton definitely will play in that game. He'll return to the Portland lineup, and you'll see him squared off against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But back to Elvin Hayes in the All-Star game. He has a slight touch of bronchitis. That's the report we have from the locker room. So the Big E will not return.
You know, I was talking to Lenny Wilkins earlier yesterday about the situation. He's a little puzzled at the situation. So the other ball players on the Portland Trail Blazer team. Because Walton's a very tough athlete, and they need him in there to win.
He's coming back. The pass to Lanier from Wicks. Rebound by Cowens. Quickly to his teammate JoJo. And Mix was led too far by JoJo that time.
You must have thought that was Havlicek running down that side.
Charlie Scott bringing it up for the West. He's a hometown favorite here in Phoenix. Chenier guarding him. Scott passes back inside to Lanier. Ball gets free. And the East will take possession.
I know that type of play looks very spectacular to the fans, especially the young ball players who are aspiring to be professionals. But he should keep his feet in a situation like that in case he can't make a pass, which was very difficult. He can dribble on out and create another situation.
Dave Bing watching JoJo. Cowens out high.
That's what he did to us in the championship round last season.
That's the Wicks. Cowens.
Good move.
Got the hoop, drew the foul. Chance for the three-point play as Jimmy Price checks in to the Western lineup, the guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. You'll see him Sunday in that game between Milwaukee and Portland on CBS. East leading by 2.
You know, in games like this, brother, the coaches will get the players in and out of the game quite often during the first half, but in the second half, they go to a little tougher strategy then. Because they're trying to get the players in the game that's going to do the job for them coming down the stretch.
Right back in a hurry, working against Dave Bing. Passing off to Chenier. 15. Mendy caught Jimmy Price, who just checked in. That's his first foul. Spencer Haywood getting up. He was in the starting lineup. Went out in the first quarter. He'll check back in. Sidney Wicks heads to the bench.
And Spencer Haywood, you know, I tell you, he hasn't been feeling that well either. I saw him earlier today, and he said he had a little touch of the flu.
Paul Silas back in. First time we've seen him since he was kicked out of Sunday's game.
He is the only sixth man from any team in the NBA who made this All-Star team. That's quite an honor.
Tipped away. Jimmy Price controls it for the West. Lacey of Kansas City, Omaha is now on the pivot. He has the basketball. Cowan's guarding him. Dave Bing's open. Rebound by Silas, and that's what he's noted for. Here comes JoJo White. Back to Cowens. Won't go this time. Mix with a tip.
Ball foul. 5-0.
And he was up over the top. That's the second foul on Mix.
His second, fourth team foul.
14 fouls against the East here in the second. Only one against the West. Lacey out high. You can just see that determination, Oscar, in Cowan's face.
He's a very tough competitor.
Offensive foul.
Offensive foul. So Price,
Jim Price.
that's his second foul, and he's picked up 2 in a hurry here.
And I must note that Paul Silas was voted the new president of the National Basketball Players Association yesterday also, which is a great honor to have because I was there for 8 years myself.
Chenier with a hoop. 35-32. The East leading the West. 8:02 to go in the first half. Lacey with a turnaround. Cowens with control. Out to JoJo White. Dave Bing has him. Silas is
Good move.
Dandridge didn't pick up Silas on the other side. They were double teaming over here.
No, we were talking earlier about getting those subjects in the game. They have 3, but John Havlicek is out right now. It'll be very interesting to see what happens if he gets in with the rest of the 3 guys.
Dandridge to Dave Bing.
All right. Get out.
Jimmy Price. 3-point lead for the East. White. Cowens. Out of bounds. East will keep it.
You notice in that triangle that time, you had Cowens, JoJo White, and Paul Silas underneath. So I think that having these players in the game from the same teams is a definite advantage.
Mix. The Philadelphia forward hits.
It's not a bad shot from that situation there.
He was a center at Toledo. Scouts didn't believe he was big enough, so he made himself a forward in the NBA and made an all-star team. Dandridge. Picked off by JoJo. Lead pass to Mix.
Great pass. Hey, good shot.
Beautiful
Look at
pass that time by JoJo. Just laid that in there perfectly. That's what the Minnesota Vikings needed last night, a pass like that.
Yes, they did.
Hey, why didn't you take Pittsburgh? You'd have been all over me again. Taken away, and here they come again. JoJo White working against Spencer Haywood. Turnaround, hooker.
Oh, classic move that time. Two fake, little hook shot.
Look at that, 43-34. The East with a spurt. Let's take a look at this play right here. Lead pass coming down perfectly to Steve Mix. He stuffs it. We've got 6:22 in the first half.
You know, this is for the Al Laddles and Casey Jones. This is the first time they've ever participated in a game, all-star game like this, after playing for so many years in the NBA. And it's the first time that black coaches have coached this game.
Casey Jones never made it as a player, Arthur?
No, he didn't.
So many other Celtics were on the All-Star team.
Great players, that's true.
JoJo White guarding Big, who passes off to Price. Lacey with the rebound. Price with the drive. Cowens was up.
Do you believe that?
The ball still went in.
Hey!
43-36, 5:57. Price now has scored 4 points.
You know, these guys are playing some pretty good defense. You know, they overplaying on the corners. The guards are pressuring a little bit. They're trying to keep it out of the middle.
Well, I'll let you take your choice of which picture you want to narrate there, Big O. Got a little isolated there in the upper left. Around shot taken outside. Up high with the rebound, Spencer Haywood. Here's David Bing. Bing with a shot. Taken away by Lacey. Back to Dandridge. Over to Dave Bing. JoJo White working against him. Cowens is there, and then they blew the whistle.
18, out of drive, to
The
go.
foul is on Cowens. Bing will go to the line. That's his second personal.
And now we have it at last. 4 Celtics are in the game at the same time.
And they check in with 5:24 to go in the first half, and they're out on top by 7 points. He's leading 43-36. But now they're substituting again here.
Yes, Earl Monroe is coming in for Phil Chenier. So this should be, you should note what happens at this particular moment. The score right now is 46-37. The East is leading.
(43-38). East on top. So we have 4 members of the Celtics and Earl Monroe. Ball goes out of bounds. Silas will inbound it. Cowan's picking Bing. Back to Dave. Nobody around that side, so Cowens hooks it in. Made that look awfully easy that time.
Yeah, the redhead is tough inside and outside just as well.
Trying to go inside, it almost went in a hoop. Out of bounds, and Jerry Lober says, hold on. The White or the West will keep that basketball. Lacey.
Sudden sand.
Joe White brings it back in a hurry. Price guarding him. White moves on past. Mismatch. Silas is open underneath. Price didn't stick with him. There was a switch, and Jimmy didn't go underneath with Silas.
But, you know, that's a typical play the Celtics uses all the time.
Right here, look.
White's with Price. It's 47-40. 7-point lead. Silas to Havlicek. 2-on-2. JoJo's behind. Hondo's open.
Yeah.
Now it's 49-40.
Well, it's gone from 7 to 9 point lead so far.
Jim Price in the corner. Havlicek has him. Dandridge is open. Taken away by Havlicek. Comes out, loses to Lacey. 3-on-1. Look at Cowens on the defense down there. Taken out by Earl Monroe.
Earl.
That's Haywood. Foul was on Haywood as Rick Berry checks back in along with Tiny Archibald. So the West makes 2 changes. So against the 4 Celtics and the 1 Nick, we've got Price, Archibald, Haywood, Berry, and Lacey working for the West. 9-point lead for the East. 3:38 to go in the first half.
I noticed with Archibald in the game, I think it will give a little more penetration, and also the West will push the ball to the court a little faster than they did when they had the other guards in the game.
We're down to 3 Celtics.
Here he comes.
Replaces Cowens. Rick Berry. Yeah. And Lacey to Haywood who can't hold on. Ball is free. Here comes JoJo. Off Silas's hands. Actually, White was trying to go across to Monroe, and Silas came in there in the middle and deflected it out. Archibald with an inbounds to Jimmy Price. Rick Berry steals over to the corner. Well, the shot was Price. McAdoo down with the board. Outlet pass to JoJo. McAdoo. Rebound Price. Rick Berry. 3-on-2. Berry passes off to Archibald. Now Archibald drives down. Archibald hesitated that time before he began his penetration.
Yeah, but I think Brent White really got into trouble when he went to shoot the ball because he was in the air and he's undecided in situations like that.
Got a timeout in Phoenix with the East leading the West by 9 points and 2:39 to go in the first half.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Well, we were tied at the end of the first quarter. Right now, the East with a 9-point lead, and they have outscored the West 20-11 in this quarter. Into Lacey. Go. Frazier has it. Tomjanovich is back in the lineup. Frazier and Monroe are at guard. Havlicek, Tomjanovich, and McAdoo. Same lineup for the West. Lacey, Haywood, Berry, Price, and Archibald.
So on that exchange, the Celtics 4+1 got the East at 9-point lead. Now it goes to 11.
Frazier with the basket against Price, and here comes Archibald. 51-40, the East with the lead. Archibald.
On the shot he goes, 2 at the line. You got the number 10 and 2 goes.
Oh, you can hear Mindy Rudolph loud and clear signaling that foul on Walt Frazier. Tiny will come to the line with 2 free throws, and that is 2 fouls so far on Frazier. McAdoo has 3. Frazier 2, Cowens 2, Mix 2, Berry 2, and Price 2.
That's 1 now, 2 at 1.
West trailing by 10.
That should have been called a foul. Yeah, but if you get away with, this is the NBA, you got to take what they give you.
Don't you ease off the officials even in an all-star game?
Oh no, I think the official's doing a good job, but I just think in that situation he was acting quite a bit.
Berry to Price. Havlicek guarding, switches off on Archibald. Pass back to Berry, who moves down past Monroe.
They're overpassing right now. Rick jumps into the air, gets called for an offensive foul.
Take a look at some of the contact that Oscar's been talking about. Even in an all-star game, down underneath the basket there, Tomjanovich goes down. There was 3 fouls on Rick Berry.
Sam.
Lacey takes the errant pass. Here comes Jimmy Price. Haywood. Way off the mark.
Ball.
Havlicek. McAdoo loses it.
Yeah, it's getting a little sloppy right now, but you got a minute and 17 to go before the half.
It's 51-42.
44 pushes out offensive foul.
Another offensive foul. This one on Lacey.
Sam Lacey is hurt.
5 fouls in this quarter against the East, 2 against the West. Back to Frazier. Behind his back to Havlicek. Deflected by Lacey. Picked up by Frazier. Havlicek. So Lacey to the boards, and Tomjanovich may have been over his back.
45. Loose ball foul, and you go down to shoot.
Yes, he was.
Rudy Tomjanovich is.
Well, they're in the penalty situation, so they'll shoot this time. It was a loose ball foul.
I can see why Sam Lacey is the second leading rebound in the league. He really did a good job getting up off the floor that time.
He has been first in the NBA, and just the last couple of weeks, he lost the lead to Wes Unseld of Washington. Wes was averaging 15 rebounds a game. Lacey 14.7. Hardly a difference.
And during my play in the Missouri Valley, I had the rebounding record until Wes Unseld came along. But that's been a few years ago. And we won't mention that again.
One of the grand old men of basketball, Oscar Robertson. McAdoo.
Oh!
Lacey with the ball. Tiny with the lead pass to Rick Berry. Beautiful. Can't get it off because he was almost out of bounds. Back to Price. Over to Haywood with a shot. Tomjanovich with a rebound. Take it away. There's Tiny.
That's some good basketball right there, fans. They talk about pride and not playing in an all-star game. What do you think about that?
Down to the last 20 seconds of the first half, a 51-46 game. 5-point lead. Frazier takes the shot clock down to 9 seconds. Now they wind it to 7. Back outside to Monroe. Shot clock to 5. Gets it off. Berry, 4 seconds on the game clock. Offensive board, McAdoo whistle blew. 2 seconds left.
Yeah, he was called for traveling that time, but he got a little help.
2 seconds on the clock. 2 seconds.
2 seconds to do something about it. Last shot of the first half coming up here in Phoenix, Arizona. A good all-star game. tied at the end of the first quarter. There it is. The horn sounded. And Lober said it would not have counted. But Archibald got it off too late anyway.
It's a good half of basketball. I think the guys have been doing a good job defensively and offensively as well.
Check of the East scoring as we prepare to start the second half of this All-Star game. Walt Frazier leading with 12 points. Bob McAdoo has 7. Havlicek 6. He has never failed to score less than 10 in any of the 10 All-Star games that he has been in. Chenier, Cowan, Silas, Unseld, and Mix all have scored. Shutout is Tom Janovich. Now let's take a look at the West All-Stars, who trail by 5 points. Archibald is tied with Frazier for high in the game with 12. Berry has 8, Wicks 6, Price 4, so did Lacey have 4. Abdul-Jabbar, Lanier, and Bing 2 apiece. Shutout in the first half. Bobby Dandridge was held scoreless, and so was Spencer Haywood. Again, we will not see Elvin Hayes because he is troubled by that bronchitis, but I noticed that he came out, and I see him taking off his sweatpants, so is it possible that the Big E has had a rapid recovery as I look into that huddle? I do believe it, and you talk about dedication. If we get a report about somebody and he comes back out here and starts the second half of the All-Star game, that would have to be great dedication. Here he comes.
Yes, he is.
So Elvin Hayes is back in the lineup.
And I guess you have to say a lot for Coach Jones in this situation because, you know, he plays on his team, and they try and leading right now in their division. And I must say he has a lot of guts to put him back in the game like this.
I hope we didn't concern Mrs. Hayes or any of the Hayes family with that report. Elvin is alive and very well in Phoenix, Arizona. Bob McAdoo and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to jump it off, and we're underway. Spencer Haywood, Gail Goodrich, Rick Berry. So the starters are back in there for the West. And also for the East. Loose ball. Berry outside to Goodrich. Took a step. Ball won't fall. Goodrich drops back. Havlicek was on the break, but the East can't get the rebound. Berry up with a shot for the West. Won't go. Abdul-Jabbar to the hoop.
I'll tell you a story about Kareem. Last night my wife and I were leaving the banquet. Kareem was standing out in the hall to go back to the hotel. For the first time in my life, my wife takes a back seat to Kareem because he sat in the front and she sat in the back.
Is that the only way you could get him into the car?
That's it, really. My wife didn't quite like it.
Walt Frazier. Goodrich comes out. Frazier's got it. Give him 14 points. A chance to be the MVP. It was Bob Lanier a year ago in Seattle that took home that trophy. Very outside. 53 to 50. The East leading by 3 points. Goodrich is guarding Frazier. Berry picks up Havlicek coming down the key. Outside McAdoo.
33.
Foul is on Abdul-Jabbar. And that's his first foul of the game. First team foul. Two for McAdoo. Kareem played only 7 minutes in that first half. Turnovers were even, 18 apiece. Rebounds, the West had 27, the East 23. But the East shot 50% to the West 36, and that certainly was the difference. Archibald back. Monroe guarding him. Over to Goodrich. Frazier. McAdoo guarding Haywood. Haywood waiting for somebody to fill it off to. It's Berry. Elvin with the rebound. Outlet pass. Turns McAdoo around. Saves it. No, he did not.
You know, it's interesting to note that whenever McAdoo plays against Kareem, you know, sometimes they try to get Dale Schluter into the game to play the defense because Mac does not do a good job with this Kareem. Such a terrific ball player, but Kareem is such a great athlete himself. I don't think anyone can really stop him at all.
Inside to Spencer Haywood with a turnaround. Won't fall. McAdoo with a rebound. Monroe. Goodrich guarding him. Monroe goes down to the baseline. Goes all the way.
Great layup. Knows how to use his body to protect the ball that time. Good shot.
57 to 50. 10:01 remaining in the third quarter. Mismatch. Tiny goes right over McAdoo. Monroe's back in a hurry, and Tiny picks him up. Archibald now has 14. He's matching Walt Frazier. Out to Elvin Hayes at the free line. Won't go. Rebound McAdoo. Maneuvering for a pass to Elvin.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Woo, great pass. And terrific duck.
Intercepted by Frazier. Lazy pass. Elvin Hayes. Short. Abdul-Jabbar to Archibald.
Give it up.
Over to Goodrich. There's a shot. He's deadly from right there.
They missed a real quick break, but they got it in.
59 to 54. 9:05 to play in the third quarter. Frazier. McAdoo with a rebound. Turn around Monroe. Working against Pearl. He's got it.
The Pearl is in there. Doing his thing.
Then they signal the West wanted timeout as we take a look at this pass down here in slow motion back to Elvin Hayes, who went in with the stuff. Commissioner Walter Kennedy. This will be his last All-Star game as commissioner of the National Basketball Association. Alongside him, Mrs. Kennedy and his daughter Kathy on his right. You know, Oscar, a lot of folks ask whether or not they can get an all-star program for this game. They can, and a little later we'll give them the address so they can get one. Tiny Archibald has the ball. Pass to Rick Barry with a turnaround. Havlicek with a rebound, and here comes the East. Walt Frazier behind his back to Havlicek. Into Monroe. Lost it. Tiny Archibald comes out. Sidney Wicks. Elvin Hayes with a loose ball. Inside to Hondo Havlicek.
Good movement that time. You know, on the fast break, Archibald has got to wait. He's got to wait on that foul line a little bit to see what happens. He penetrates too deep. The passes too close. You can't handle it.
17, runs through and holds for one.
Foul number 17, John Havlicek is first.
So, foul on Havlicek, out of bounds. Archibald. Pass to Gail Goodrich. Frazier guarding him. Hayes has Kareem. Look at that move to the hoop.
That was what you call a fullback plunge that time.
We had another word from the locker room that Spencer Haywood went in with the flu and won't return to the West lineup. I'm not so sure we should report that after Elvin Hayes. McAdoo.
Mac is back. I'd like to see Kareem get a little more active into this game because he's got a tremendous sky hook, as you know. Here he comes. He's on the side now. They can get it into him.
No shot. No.
Get those knockdown.
Jerry Lober blew the whistle.
Take
a look at Kareem's move right here.
Yeah, he just barrels straight back into Elvin Hayes and jams it in.
That foul was on McAdoo, so he has 4 so far. Wicks up with a shot. Won't go. Monroe with the rebound. 65 to 56. The East with the lead. Havlicek passes off into the corner. Back from McAdoo to Elvin. Elvin to Frazier. Goodrich has him. Goes in anyway.
Well, that's what I've been talking about early in the ball game, Brent. Whenever Frazier or Monroe gets those smaller guards on him, they go right up over the top of him.
And that's 16 for Walt Frazier. Archibald back out to Sidney Wicks. McAdoo comes out on him. Archibald takes it, and he says, hold on, Frazier, I'm going to stay right with you. 16 apiece, and here comes Earl Monroe of the East, 67-58. 6:41 to go in the third quarter here in Phoenix. Now move to the hoop, won't go. Sidney Wicks with the rebound.
Good pass out.
Goodrich up the middle. He's got Barry on his left. Correct.
That was a good break. Very good break that time.
East in a hurry, and it's Hondo Havlicek going to the hoop.
He's called for traveling.
Andy Rudolph picked it up. 7-point lead by the East. Timeout is called. Go over to the side. K.C. Jones wants to talk to the Eastern All-Stars. 6:23 to go in the third quarter, and the East with that lead right there.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Here at 67 to 60. 6:23 to go. The East with the lead, and here comes Gail Goodrich. Frazier guarding him. Inside to Abdul-Jabbar. Dave Cowens is checked into the lineup, and he's guarding Abdul-Jabbar. There's the hook. Won't go. Loose ball. Frazier comes out. Pass off to Havlicek.
Yeah.
Left Hondo open. And there it is, double figures again. The 10th time in All-Star competition. Starter for the 7th straight time. What a fabulous career Havlicek has had. Into Sidney Wicks. McAdoo is out on him. Wicks goes up with a jumper. Frazier now with the rebound.
You know, I really do feel that Coach Adams has to get those small guards out there against Monroe and Frazier.
Havlicek wheels around Berry, goes off a screen, won't go. Wicks with the rebound, looking up court. Nobody had broken free. Havlicek is brought back. Tiny Archibald out to Rick Berry. You can't leave him open.
No, you can. He's a terrific shot.
He'll drill it from there. It's 69-62. Down to 5:20 to go here in the third quarter. The West trying to put something together. Havlicek falls down. Rick Berry helps him back up. That's all-star competition. McAdoo is out here with Wicks. To Collins. Abdul-Jabbar is watching him. Inside to Frazier. Goodrich. Frazier with a turnaround. Won't go. Rebound, Sidney Wicks. Comes out of the middle. Here's Tiny Archibald. Bounce pass. Wicks is open. Comes under. Should have gone right straight up with the right hand. Came underneath. Down toward the east. Monroe saving it at the baseline. Archibald made off him. Didn't go to him, and he drills it. 71-62. 4:46 to go in the third quarter. Back comes Archibald.
I think Coach Adams is going to make a move here. Yeah, Charlie Scott is getting up. Because the guards are too big for the West right now. They just take him underneath and shoot it over the top of them.
Frazier maneuvering for a shot. He's got it. Give him 18 points. (73-62). 4:20 to go in the third. Archibald is up. Over to Sidney Wicks. McAdoo is there. Rudy Tomjanovich off the east bench. He'll check back in. Kicked away by Collins, out of bounds.
And plays like that take just too long to get into them. And what they should do is just move the ball a little bit more. You know, the West right now, they aren't moving the ball fast enough to get into that pattern. They're just walking around and taking too much time.
McAdoo goes to the bench as Tomjanovich comes in. And Charlie Scott has checked into the game. Gail Goodrich goes over to sit down on the West bench.
10 seconds, Charlie. Big ball.
You heard Archibald tell Charlie had 10 seconds. Down to 5. Beautiful to Berry, who's open. Tremendous pass. 73-64. 4 minutes to go in the third. Scott works against Frazier.
Scott has some tremendous tools for a basketball player.
Berry guarding Havlicek. Shot clock down to 15. Frazier maneuvering against Scott. Turnaround. Lober detected a foul.
34. Fouls on number 34.
Cut Charlie Scott. For Charlie Scott, that's his second foul.
But
McAdoo has 4.
You notice with the taller Scott, Frazier has more trouble getting his shot up and away to the basket. With the smaller guy, Goodrich, it's much easier for him.
Cowens outside. Blocked it. Comes out. Lead pass. Archibald won't control it.
Watch out.
Mendy said, you stepped on the line, and Monroe will inbound it to his teammate, Walt Frazier. Two guys, they said, could not play basketball together, and they have done it, and quite well. That's to Rudy Tomjanovich, who comes out. Sidney Wicks is guarding him.
They've had their problems in the past playing together, but I'm sure, you know, they have a weaker team. The players with the ability will shine every time, I feel myself.
Wicks rebounds, Cowens miss. Archibald gets past, dishes to Berry. The crowd loves it.
Yeah.
Oh, Tiny brought him up that time. 73-66. 18 for Rick Berry. He is tied with Frazier 16. Frazier goes in with the whistle blew by Lober.
Well, Tiny goes down. He waits this time. He does what he should do. Behind the back pass. Rick from the side. 2.
You saw Havlicek that time. He was sticking right with Scott because he didn't want the pass back into the middle. So that left Berry open on the wing.
You know, talking to Coach Adams during the interview, I think he alluded to the fact he's going to have to get some of the starters out of the game and get the players in the game who's going to do the job for him because he's down right now by 8.
Are you indicating that the All-Stars selected by the coaches are superior to those picked by the fans?
They might be. Because I'm sure in a lot of cases fans are going by points scored. They don't really go to a lot of the details that has to be done to win a basketball game.
36, there it is. Wicks inside. Cowens battling Wicks. Oh, Wicks has been active underneath.
Yes, I guess he has to because he hasn't touched it very much from the outside.
So we've got a timeout here in Phoenix.
Now, this is a definite problem when you come into a game like this. certain players don't pass to certain players in a game like this.
You know, I mentioned that we had 3 players from UCLA. We also have 2 from North Carolina and 2 from Louisville on this all-star team. Little all-star repair job. Stars are so good they've been burning up the nets.
Yes, they have, and by the all-star ball boy.
Oh, Rick Barry has been on a tear. Scored the last 8 points for the West. 75-66. Well, the man who's holding that handheld camera had a good night. You see the steady hand when he tilted that up? Pass to Havlicek. Charlie Scott has him. Collins with a pick. Couldn't get it back to Collins. Frazier. Tom Janovich. Abdul-Jabbar takes it away from Havlicek. Comes underneath to Nate Archibald. Rick Barry, will he be 10? Passes to Wicks.
That's it. They need more of that. They're going to get back in this game.
75-68. Down to 2:08. There goes Frazier. Give him 22. 18 for Barry. 16 for Archibald. Down to the last minute 55 in the third quarter. Archibald with a bounce around to Abdul-Jabbar. Wicks.
Long enough. Frazier asked how long. He was there long enough to get 2 points.
7-point lead. Ball comes free again. It's the best spurt the West has had since the early going. Out of bounds, says Lober, and the West will take possession, trailing by 7 points. Charlie Scott of the Phoenix Suns will inbounds it. Abdul-Jabbar, Collins guarding him. Tiny's open. Nobody's over there.
Now, I guess Tiny doesn't know Milwaukee's offense. He's supposed to clear the other way in that situation.
18, he's tied with Barry.
Does he know about the sky hook?
There's Collins. Wicks. Frazier gets it outside. Goes up. 24 points for Walt.
He's really playing super basketball tonight.
What an all-star game he's having here in Phoenix.
No doubt about who the standout is right now.
Now to the last 58 seconds of the third. 79-72. Archibald to Barry. Won't go. Abdul-Jabbar, the whistle blew.
You got a tap. It's a loose ball. It's 45 and 1 shot off.
All right, you heard Mindy Rudolph.
Yep.
Loose ball foul. Now, they're not in the penalty situation, so they won't shoot that. They'll throw it in. Wicks is open on top. Janovich can't hit it. Scott dealing off. Boy, the hang time Charlie Scott had on that pass. Charlie with a shot won't go. Collins. Up quickly, here's Havlicek on the wing.
And Kareem jumped over the backboard that time.
Tom Janovich. Phil Chenier. Back out to Walt Frazier. Havlicek. Abdul-Jabbar came on, and Hondo still hit it. Give Hondo 12 points. It's 81-72, just when the West appears to be closing the gap. The East will spurt a little bit.
Yeah, they got some fine ball players on the East squad, and I think they're moving the ball a little better than the West.
Good defense by Frazier. Cut Scott off, had to go back on a turnaround, and the whistle blew. They were down to the last 5 seconds.
And 1 down.
Fouls on Collins.
Now they are in the penalty, so this time they will shoot it. Abdul-Jabbar comes out. Taking a look at the fouls. McAdoo with 4, Collins with 3, Tom Janovich with 3. For the West, Barry with 3. Frazier signaling they've got 5 seconds. Collins. Havlicek was there. A Celtic play, and it's good enough.
Do you believe that?
Hondo Havlicek was standing right there. Collins turned around, came up with a pass. Havlicek put it in. Let's take a look at some of that action. Here's Nate Archibald coming up with a beautiful pass to Barry, who then fed the open man, Sidney Wicks, and we've completed 3 quarters. So those 12 points in the third quarter gave Frazier 24 for the game.
And
Bob
Kareem is out.
Lanier is back.
Yes, he's in for Kareem.
See if the West can make up that 10-point deficit. Dave Bing in the game along with Charlie Scott, Sidney Wicks, and Rick Barry.
Because if they're going to do anything, they got to do it early. They can't wait around in a game like this because you have such good basketball players from the East squad, and I think they can really blow you out when they get ready.
All right, that was a hoop by Wicks that cut it down to 8. Now a turnover. Here comes the West. Wicks outside. Oh, my. You'll see Sidney Wicks and the Portland Trail Blazers Sunday against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Two quick hoops. Now down to 6 points.
They got to go to Frazier. He's their hot hand. Whistle blew.
Ball is loose. Foul is 16.
Bob Lanier on the loose ball foul. First foul here in the fourth quarter. It's 83-77.
You know, Cowens is not a real big man, but he's pretty strong in there, you know.
All right, here's Frazier. Let's see how Scott defends him. Rolls around the Cowens pick. Lanier with the switch. Cowens has Scott on him. Onto Havlicek, back to Frazier. Again, they've got Lanier outside. Havlicek inside to Cowens on the mismatch. Wicks came over to help out. Loose ball. Havlicek battles for it on the floor. Back to Cowens.
Look at that hustle. That's good. That's good basketball. You know, these guys are scrambling. They don't, you know, they're not with their own teams. Game like this. People say they don't have pride in the game. You saw it.
Paul Silas of the Boston Celtics checking in. Rudy Tomjanovich of Houston goes to the bench. So now for the Boston Celtics, Cowens, Silas, and Havlicek, the entire front line. Wicks with a turnaround.
Whoop. Any elbows?
Nobody's bleeding, though.
Not yet. No skin on any fingernails.
Frazier against Scott, maneuvering for that shot, waiting for someone. Beautiful pass to Havlicek. Oh, what a play that was. 87-77. Frazier came down for the steal. Wicks went back to Scott. Wicks is over here. Cowens comes out on him. Inside, batted away from Lanier. Paul Silas controls it for the East.
There's no doubt about it. The superior team right now. East is really doing a job on it right now.
Foul is on Charlie Scott. That is his third. Cowens has 4. Bobby Dandridge checks back in. Rick Barry will take a rest. 10-12 to go in this basketball game. Chenier back to Cowens. Led him just a little too far. Dave Bing down the middle. Silas with the interception. Cowens, Frazier.
Frazier again.
6 points for Walt Frazier. No doubt about the MVP if he keeps this up. Dave Bing knocked away and out of bounds. Havlicek controls. Cowens, Bill Chenier. Won't go. Lanier comes out with a rebound, and here comes Charlie Scott. Knocked away. Chenier should have an easy one.
All those spectacular leaps don't mean very much in a game like this unless you're successful with them.
Oh, it's 91-77. What a job the East has done early here in the fourth. Sidney Wicks, who has worked awfully hard in the second half.
They still have some time to get it together, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it or not. I think East is playing real good. They continue with their pace they're going right now. There it is again. The defense from the West has sort of slacked a little bit.
This is a fabulous team the East has on the floor right now. Frazier and Chenier in the backcourt and 3 Celtics up front. Charlie Scott. Wicks with a rebound, goes right back up.
You notice that every time the West has a shot, it's a difficult shot because the defense is there. But when they get the ball on the other end, I should say, the West is not playing that type of defense. The hard, aggressive defense they were playing at the start of the ball game.
I think K.C. Jones wants a victory in his first appearance. Sticking with this unit. They're doing a job. Havlicek. Blocked away and out of bounds, but the East will keep it. An amazing athlete, 34 years old. And as you see, K.C. Jones, the coach of the Washington Bullets in his first All-Star game, one of the greatest defensive guards in the history of the NBA. Came out of San Francisco with Bill Russell. Was an assistant coach at Los Angeles when they won an NBA title. Now at Washington, the Bullets have a chance. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Frazier. Lanier is out on him. Mismatch underneath. Frazier draws a foul.
Yeah. He tried to get it up.
Rick Barry checking back into the game. Take a look here at Frazier working against the big guy, Lanier.
Yeah, he gives him the head. A little late with the shot. If it was a shot,
I'm glad Walt didn't break a shoulder on that block.
So am I.
Oh, Chenier's moving against Dandridge. Havlicek at the boards. Knocked away by Dandridge, but Chenier is there. And Silas, but Lober blew his whistle.
16. It's got a hook.
It says Bob Lanier's got a hook. Loose ball, so the East will take it out of bounds. That is 4 fouls already on the West here in the fourth quarter. 8:04 to play.
And a shorter East team inside, forwards, and the pivot did a good job that time on the boards.
Frazier. Barry was on him. So the high point man will be coming to the line.
I think, and Rick's laughing about that play. Well, Frazier goes back door against Rick. Gets it. Yeah, got a little contact. Not very much, but just enough.
4 fouls on Barry. Oh.
Last one.
28 points for Walt Frazier.
Well, Brent, what do you think an MVP choice will be?
Give him 2 trophies the way he's playing. To go out of bounds. West will keep it. Nate Archibald and Sam Lacey checking back into the basketball game. Bob Lanier, Sidney Wicks going out. Jimmy Price coming in.
And they're down by 16 points. And no penetration, no ball movement. This is the reason they're down.
JoJo White checking in for the East. Wes Unseld is in. Unseld watching Lacey. JoJo White is here on Archibald. Silas has Barry. Barry wants to throw a move at him. Back to Lacey. Barry at the hoop. Loose ball foul called on Paul Silas.
It's a rebound. It's loose, and it's 1 shot.
All right, again, that's only 2 team fouls against the East. Archibald to Price. Barry coming inside. Frazier. Up here to JoJo White. Archibald is there. White maneuvers. Goes up with a shot. Lacey to Barry's on the wing. Got it. Havlicek back to Price. Good defense by Havlicek that time, but he couldn't cover both of them.
No, he couldn't. That was good. That was good movement on the ball that time by Price and also Rick Barry.
Price has Frazier. Frazier up with the shot outside.
Loose ball.
Rebound.
35.
Here's that pass.
Yeah, he's on the wing. He covers his lane. Fakes back to Price. Price goes up with that one-handed shot of his. Right into the basket.
And we've got a timeout.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
This is the plaque that each of the All-Stars received down here in Phoenix. This one, of course, going to Bob McAdoo. And Oscar McAdoo received more votes than any starter on this team. The fans, of course, across the country selected the starting lineups, and then the coaches rounded out the rosters by picking the 7 substitutes for the East and the West. We're back. Tiny Archibald with the basketball to Sam Lacey. Wesley Unseld is on him. Rick Barry regains it. Out of bounds.
Did anybody touch it? Nobody touched? Blue. Okay.
Nobody touched it. Oh, a little pressure in the backcourt now.
What Mindy Rudolph is calling loud and clear. Well, it's 95-81, and they're down to 6:42. They must get something going in a hurry. JoJo White. Havlicek. Walt Frazier. Wesley Unseld. 3 seconds. That's the first 3-second violation of this All-Star game. Oscar, I was curious as to who has scored the most points in one All-Star game, so I checked while we were away. It's Wilt Chamberlain, 42 points in an All-Star game. Right now, we've got Frazier with 28. Rick Barry went over 30 one night. He was an MVP. Price up with a shot outside. Won't go. Battle underneath. Silas has control. Here comes Havlicek.
Boxed out very well on that
Joe
play.
White. Back to Unseld. Havlicek. Barry with a rebound. Price and JoJo White guards him.
Price with those hands.
Really control the basketball, can he? Knocked away and out of bounds.
You know, this is very difficult for the West to get a shot in this situation. They got to get the ball up to the basket. Because if they don't shoot it, they sure can't score.
Except for that one spurt in the third quarter, I think the East has played extremely well.
So do I.
20 points. Havlicek, Dandridge there. Havlicek around him and goes up with a shot.
Offensive foul. And you know what they're doing right now is going into just a simple 3-man wave out beyond the free throw lane. And it's very effective for them.
Take a look at this in slow motion.
Yeah, he goes by Bobby Dandridge and Archibald's there. It's a charging foul.
You know, I didn't even see Tiny underneath there. He's
I don't think Havlicek did either.
Dandridge with a turnaround of Havlicek. Oh, the
yes.
ball goes in. 95-85. They've got a chance. We're down to 5-14. Got to keep it going right here. Barry is there on Havlicek. Archibald is guarding White. Bounce back to Havlicek, who's open, batted away by Lacey.
Good day.
Block shot by Sam Lacey. One of the leaders in that department. Walt Frazier. Inside to Wesley Unseld on the drive.
Pass to the hoop. You got the 10, throw the top.
That's Dandridge's first foul. Take a look at this.
If Bobby don't get in Big Wes's way, you'll get run over.
You know, Dandridge was a 4th-round draft choice. A lot of scouts felt that he would never make it in a big way in the NBA just because of that fact that he wasn't big enough, but he's worked hard.
Wonder where those scouts are now. You think they're still scouts?
They're working for that team that Steve Mix played for in the Continental League. Where was he playing in Michigan? He made that Continental League All-Star team. Lacey with a ball back up. Tipped away to JoJo White. Dandridge is there. Wesley Unseld. Price guarded him. Silas around, but Jerry Lober blew the whistle underneath. Lacey with the foul.
On the hip, push.
Silas comes out to the line.
Yeah, he got a little friendly hand on the hip, and he's caught. But you know, I say, Frazier's really played a fine basketball game tonight. He's been very smooth. He set up plays, made the right passes, key steals.
2 for 1.
And his team is leading now 98-87.
Look at the game that Walt Frazier's had. Makes the penalty shot, 99-87. Now it is 4:30. Barry, Silas has him. Rick maneuvering, shoots it outside. Out. Here will come the East. Archibald and Price set up to put on pressure. Frazier taking his time. Into Havlicek. Little rest. Havlicek maneuvering against Dandridge. Comes across the timeline. 15 on the shot clock. Frazier. Price is guarding him. Frazier maneuvering. Dandridge comes around. They have him double teamed in the corner. Back to Havlicek. Silas comes underneath Archibald. Price with a rebound, and Unseld was on him.
In that situation, they played very good
41.
defense.
2 go.
Bobby Dandridge went down a double team, and the team just shifted and covered down with the situation. It's almost like a zone in that situation. They got to cover down on each man.
Oh, Rick Barry's statistics. He and Bob McAdoo are waging a hot battle for the scoring title. Steve Mix gets up. He's going to check back into the lineup. Walt Frazier sits down.
Well, Brent, I picked my MVP for this basketball game.
Hondo Havlicek. What a basketball game Walt Frazier has played.
Very good. Very fine base.
Ball played.
99-88. 4:02 left in this All-Star game. Silas to JoJo White. Cross court to Unseld. Steve Mix, Philadelphia, working against Dandridge.
No, you got a hole. You could have had that ball. Number 1. It's got a hole here.
Foul on Tiny Archibald. That's his second.
And that's a bonus free throw coming up now for JoJo White.
JoJo White on the line. Once in the lead, 2 shots. Penalty shot.
101-89. Down to the last 350.
You know, I think the West was really favored to win this basketball game tonight.
Archibald. Unseld. Earl Monroe. Price guarding Monroe, goes down to the baseline. Price, did he do it? Yes, he did.
Great defense and a heady play by Price that time. You know, when the Bucks made that trade with Lucius Allen, it was conceded that Lucius was the faster of the two, but they needed the defense by Price, and hey, I think it worked out for both teams very well.
Price with a turnaround. Steve Mix with the rebound. JoJo White. Bounce to Silas. Taken away by Rick Berry. Rick Berry has a block. Goaltending. Steve Mix. Down to the last 3 minutes. 10-point lead by the East. Unseld to Silas. Dandridge with the rebound, and here comes Nate Archibald.
I really do feel it's all over for the West.
Lacey going to the hoop, won't go.
No matter what they do, I think each has got pause, expertise, and the ability to win this basketball game and hold it up. They're going to take their chances. If they have them, play conservative basketball. Sam blocked that shot. Good defensive play.
It is. Traveled with it, lost control.
You know, I hate to keep reminding young players about situations like that. You see, he jumped in the air again. He lost the basketball.
We are down to the final 2 minutes and 21 seconds. The East leading by 10 points. Somebody who's been out in the sunshine in Phoenix, Arizona.
For quite a while.
See, all the pretty girls don't just go to college football games.
No, they do not. Some come to basketball games. All-star games at that.
Now McAdoo has checked back in, so is Elvin Hayes. Monroe working against Price.
Good block by Price again. Good defense.
Archibald on it, drive. Hey. All the way. Oh, he's had a game, too. Give Tiny 22 points. 101-93. 1:55 remaining in this game. Mix on a bounce pass to JoJo. White maneuvering, double team. Dandridge behind him. Mix trying to drive foul. Ball taken away. Price comes free with a basketball. Cross court Dandridge. Bobby throws it. 4 points. 101-95. 1:25 remaining. JoJo goes down to baseline. Lover says, hold on. Foul on Price. That is his third.
You know, I know although the West is running pretty good right now, they're scoring their jumpers, I think the clock might run out on them, Brett. But it's been a fine ball game so far. Let's see what happens on this free throw. Oh, he missed the first one.
So timeout. Al Attles wants to talk to the West team. He has a minute 26 remaining. He's trailing by 7 points. Certainly not impossible at this stage to get back.
No, it isn't, but I must say, at that timeout there, gets the ball at the half-court line under the last 2 minutes. You call timeout, the ball has been scored. If you can't get the ball out,
You go down low.
so, Coach Attles right now is trying to get a playoff set up because he needs some quick hoops.
Go down low.
Archibald, throw it in here for the West.
Yeah, we'll see what type of play Coach Al Attles set up for them on this series.
Berry, 102 to 97.
That's a pretty good play.
5 points down to a minute 10. Archibald's with JoJo. The West needs some defense and a turnover. JoJo takes the shot clock down to 10 seconds. Taking his time. Game clock at 104. Price has Monroe. Monroe goes down to the baseline. Tries to swing free. Was he fouled?
Oh, no.
Porter says yes, he was.
10.
Well, looked pretty good to me from here.
Dandridge's second foul. Monroe is at the line, and this is critical.
That one really hurt. Really hurt that time. Yeah.
Penalty shot in this situation. Now again, Attles wants to set up a play. It's 104-97.
Yes, he called a great play the last time out. Got Rick Barry underneath on the reverse for 2 points. But I think it's almost impossible in this situation. It's not impossible, I should say, but it's tough against good basketball players, you know, to come from seven down with a minute to go.
You know, there was some news made earlier today. The NBA owners in their meeting decided not to expand into Toronto next season.
That's a big surprise.
Walter Kennedy did say, Oscar, that Toronto still is number one whenever the NBA decides to go in there. And I rather imagine with the economic climate being what it is, it's pretty hard to borrow that kind of money right now. Folks up in Toronto, those who are interested in buying that team, probably want to wait and see what's going to happen for the next year. I'll tell you, I'm kind of glad. I think that all sports in general have expanded too much here in the last 5 or 6 years. I'd like to see them stabilize a little bit.
So would I. I'm sure a lot of people around the country, especially the fans, are maybe a little disappointed about that move not to expand this year, but the economy is pretty low right now, I must say.
Well, you know, I was up in Toronto for that game between Boston and Buffalo about a week ago. They had a great turnout up there in the Maple Leaf Gardens of 13,500, but Buffalo and Boston, two established teams, so maybe when we get teams like New Orleans stocked with good talent, turn them into a contender, then we can worry about the Toronto folks and give them a good team. I'm sure they'd rather see quality basketball up there than struggle along.
Yes, well, that is deceiving when you go into a situation like that with two well-established teams and you can draw a good crowd.
White has Archibald. We're down to the last 50 seconds here in Phoenix. Dandridge maneuvers for his shot. Taken away, that's going to be about it. Oh, bad pass, and Berry's got the interception. Pass to Price. Left-handed, won't go.
You see that?
It's the kind of night it has been for the West.
That's great body control by Price that time to get that ball up and over Elvin Hayes' hand.
38 seconds. Archibald said, step on that line, said Jerry Lober.
Yeah, the East will win this basketball game. Just a matter of time now. Farrell is going to dance with it a little bit. Oh!
Price takes it away from Monroe. Back to Archibald, who's open. Won't go. Tiny with a rebound. Comes back. Give Archibald 24 points. JoJo White, we're down to 20 seconds. It's 104-99. Backcourt foul on Bobby Dandridge.
This will be a three for two this time.
Playing these last 30 seconds, you would think that Sonny Jurgensen had the football and was driving the Washington Redskins down the field.
Funny you should mention that.
JoJo is at the line.
He's got 2 chances at 1 now, 2 at 1.
You know, the East has done a good job of playing very well together. You know, situations where they have to go at them, you know, they made their moves in the right time. They took advantage of a lot of mistakes. Good pressure defense on the corners.
So that foul was on JoJo White. We're down to the last 14 seconds. It's 106-99. Archibald has 24 points. He can add to that total. Walt Frazier left the game with 28. We have praised Frazier's play, and we should also praise Nate Archibald.
Yes, Tiny's been a giant tonight with his play. He's done a great job.
It's also very entertaining to watch in a game like this.
Yes,
all
he
these
is.
stars. He's all over the court.
He's in and out. He's so quick. He dances here and there.
Taken away by the West. And they blew the whistle with 9 seconds on that game clock.
15.
Maybe the West should have been applying this type of pressure for a longer time than Bennett, because they really have done very well in situations like this where there's wide pressure. He says not been able to get the ball in bounds. And they cut it down some.
106, 101, 9 seconds left.
And if Archibald had scored those 2 points, he could have tied Frazier for the game high scoring now. He gets one of them.
So he's at 27.
Timeout.
East wants to call a timeout. K.C. Jones bringing Mixon, White, Elvin Hayes, Monroe over to sit down.
But here again, this timeout is called because it gets the ball at half court. And this is going to relieve a lot of the pressure that's being put on East down this end of the court.
See who comes free. Frazier, who's back in.
On a hold. 15. 15 hold.
Holding against Price.
And they're in the bonus. Steal.
So Frazier will add to that game high if he can hit.
I think he'll make it. 29 points for Clyde.
And 30.
And another timeout.
You get the feeling this is the longest 9 seconds in pro
It has been
basketball.
rather long. It's almost like a 2-minute drill in football.
108 to 102. We're down to the last 8 seconds. I tell you, I'm impressed by the way the West keeps calling plays and hanging in there. You would think that a group of all-stars might say to themselves, wait a minute, let's get out of here and get a cold beer and be on our way. They want to stay right with this. It's 108, 102.
Here we go.
We'll have the MVP award at the end of this basketball game. Price to Lacey. Price on the drive. Play doesn't work this time. Mix with a rebound. That'll do it.
Yeah, that's all over.
The East All-Stars have beaten the West All-Stars 108 to 102, and they have won the 25th annual NBA All-Star Game here in Phoenix.